Guys, hello, Yash here. Welcome to our Upside Brown podcast. This week we have the dads. We got my dad here, Rajesh, and we got call him Uncle fondly as we do in Indian culture.
Okay, Uncle.
Oh, right.
Uncle Raj as well. So Raj and Raj podcast. Guys, introduce yourselves a bit. Tell us about who you guys are playing on the show.
Okay, I can start. I play Akash, and I am just playing myself. That's about it. All I can tell you without any spoilers. The story goes a little bit that I'm the one with my family trying to visit my friend, trying to stay in his house, trying to sneak and stay forever kind of thing, maybe. So that's my role. I'm hiding a lot of things. Some of the things that
There you go.
I don't know if I'm hiding or even I'm confused.
No spoilers. There
Yes,
you go.
yeah,
There you go.
So I play.
Yeah.
Dad,
So I'm playing Amol Tyagi, which is interesting, multifaceted character, which is somewhat like me, but not exactly.
We will see.
So yes. Yeah, it was quite a different experience to represent myself in that kind of role. I mean, we'll see how it goes.
we'll see how it goes. So one thing that I think was interesting about both your characters is that, as Rahul and I have mentioned, and it's been mentioned in some of our future podcasts as well, we drew a lot of inspiration from the comedy greats Seinfeld, modern day The Office, and if you look at the schematic of comedy, right, one thing we tried to adapt here is you have that one character, whether it's Michael Scott or Kramer or anybody, who disrupts the normalcy of the situation and then drags everybody into it. That's the sort of character we have you playing as the head of the household of the conservative household, the Tyagi household. There's a couple scenes in which, obviously, you've gathered the gang. Without spoiling anything, tell us you guys get into it. What was it like to kind of, have that conflict on screen?
So, unlike many of you who have appreciated Seinfeld, my favorite was Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and the character that I had on my mind was Carlton. So,
So
yeah,
now I can think why there were certain things
Yeah.
he did, why he did. Very nice.
Coming back to that, I was looking as Will Smith and Alfonso Ribeiro combination over here. So, I don't know whether truly I was behaving like that or, but somewhere that was probably playing back in my mind.
No, I'm by no means an actor. I'm director's actor, if you said so. So what Yash and these guys did a fantastic job, and here's what you need to be. I think memorization part, the one you asked about our interaction, it was purely winging it, right? You gave us an idea. We had certain
The script.
points to hit, I guess,
Yeah.
or words, right, which you were clear about. And I just went, and we had that little conversation, we would meet and do, and we
Right.
play on afternoon cricket and how we get on each other, and how feisty when there's a run out going on, or we had that camaraderie.
Right.
I think it worked out good.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
less stress on me to perform. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah, so Baba, tell us a little bit about that. Obviously, we get into arguments with those we are closest with.
Mhm.
And we've already built this sort of, as we mentioned during the pandemic, not many things to do, stick to being outside. We played cricket, we rehearsed together, had to have a small knit team. What was it like, being friends and then really, arguing with your friend on the screen? Because it's so different from the real life
Yeah.
relationship.
So once I get in the character, I tend to give the justice to that character, and I keep that outside relationship away, and try to give the justice to the role as much as I can. At times it was hard, of course, I will acknowledge that especially Raj being older, senior to me from age perspective, so giving a trash talk. That's against my thought, against my culture, and very hard for me to accept and showcase likewise. So that was definitely the hardest
No,
part for me.
and my character was to accept all this because I was in a very vulnerable position, right?
Right.
Beggars can't be choosers. I couldn't be aggressive. I'm like, tell him to go. But
And
that's not gonna work.
I find that hilarious because obviously in real life, you're not gonna take shit from people. You stand up for
Right.
yourself. So what was it
So I'm
like?
biting my lip all the time.
What was that like? Biting your lip, taking all that, playing
Yeah.
against type. What was that like?
Certain places, like when you have a fight, right? Fight is two ways, not one way fight, and so I took it and rolled my eyes, a lot of shaking,
Gotta let that energy out.
energy
somehow.
outlet, looking at the camera like WTF, So,
Both of you, as you guys mentioned, acting is not something that you guys have done a lot of your life. I know. I'll start with you, Raj. You have had a lot of experience with producing films
right.
personally. Like, tell us a little bit about your journey with film and how it kind of segued over here to Upside Down.
I'm just a movie film buff, right? I mean, and I'll take 1 second to tell you, when I was like 12, 13 years old, kids around me wanted to be a doctor, pilot, and all that. I wanted to be that guy who sat you down on the ticket collector. To where your seats go. I thought that guy was the awesome guy, best friend, and if I can sneak into a movie, he can sit me in the back and I can watch the movie for the third, fourth time. So I wanted to grow up to become him, a ticket guy who sat you. So the movies I liked. Back home in India, I mean, I grew up without TV, right? So it was, early 70s, just black and white TV and all. So going to the movies, once you go see the movie, next afternoon, after my cricket game or class, I would bike and go stand behind the cinema, listen to it, and imagining what the hell was going on. So I would see movie like Diwar, Sholay 13 times because by listening to exactly what was going on. I say it first time, and then so I had that passion. And then you grow, become old, you go to school and blah, 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 and then get a, TV, the whole media changed. And that's when I got involved. I met few people, the local talent, kids in Columbia School, and then I met Madhura. We
Yes.
made 5 sketches, and then there's a Punjabi movie we just released six months ago. And then I was involved with somebody in India, just to encourage yourself.
Yes.
You came along, you were in high school, you guys doing things, we were encouraging that. And then, of course, you and Rahul were friends forever, and you guys were writing this in my home, or, so it was nice of you to offer me hey, kid, do you want to do this thing?
Yeah.
And I was not sure. But it's like, no,
You
just
weren't,
be
you
you.
weren't, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, you guys would have me a whole paragraph, and I'm like, okay, can we cut it down to 2 lines? Bring
But,
it down a lot.
I think all he
So-
told me when we started this project was, I'll act if you give me one scene where I'm having drinks.
Then
I
you
kept
gave
my
it two.
promise. I kept my promise.
No, I think I did it in 2.
I
right?
did two scenes.
Two
with drinks.
scenes.
There you go. Bonus.
I can do cheers with the best of them.
There you go. Bawa, you obviously didn't take that route with acting, but I think in your heart you've always been a performer, whether it be take the opportunity to present something in a family gathering or those little times at offices where they have the work sketches, etc. You're just ready to be the first guy on the dance floor. There's no shame. There's this passion to performing. Tell us how that and acting linked and how that got you here.
Sure. So, in my childhood, and even till date, I'm more of a shy person, believe it or not. I used to always have that urge to express myself in the most exorbitant way, but couldn't really fulfill to that in my childhood. I used to dance at my aunt's place.
Man, I want to see that. I would
And,
pay to see that.
Yeah, and my cousins would really
Is that
appreciate
right?
that and enjoy that.
What kind of music?
The Indian music.
Oh, Indian music.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like when I
Bhangra
was-
and all.
Yeah,
Garba and-
typically we would in
Okay.
the evening, my aunt and her husband would put on the music, and me and my older cousins would simply let our hearts out and then just enjoy. But that was a big unknown to my dad. That was me. So although he was more of a movie goer and movie lover, he was strictly against me for following that path. So that's where it was kind of kept within kind of a talent. When I came over here in US, the first opportunity I got was kind of similar to this role, where I played the Lord of Death and Yamraj. And
It's like a Ramlila or something?
no, it was like a kind of a satire. Satire to make fun of our own company, or offshore company, where they were squeezing out of us and body shopping and
that's hilarious.
paying very poorly out of it. And then the idea was, I as a Yamraj need to would punish them when they come in my territory. So I had I had actually gone with the props with the swish of a hunter, and actually I hit somebody with that.
Accident?
Accidentally.
Okay.
And then the guy was like, oh, what?
What did you
And
do?
I thought he was actually acting.
So you hit him again.
No, I did not.
This is how he learns his method acting.
So, but then that was I you know him, Somu Kaka.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's why I
yeah.
don't hang out with him. No, for,
Yeah, that was the end of that relationship.
Yeah.
quick interjection for those who don't know, Yamraj, like you said, God of Death, very very big theme, in a lot of cultures, right? Like if you mess up, karma's gonna get you, and what better form of karma than to go to death? So I'm sure it was fun.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Playing
yeah,
that
yeah,
role.
and especially every person who has performed very bad for the guys in offshore, those will be punished severely. And we were almost like letting our heart out on those guys. So that was my first exposure, and I think since then slowly started expressing myself out, little by little. Some of the corporate influence as well. I remember one of my managers, the youngest manager ever in my career, she told me that Raj, you have to toot your own horns. Otherwise, nobody's going to listen and nobody's going to
Do it, showcase.
yeah, you have to showcase yourself. And I think I took it very seriously, and then that's how I grew up in the corporate world. But at the same time, when this opportunity, thanks to Yash, came forward, I just express myself.
Yeah, no, and you definitely did. That brings me to my next question. Really, it's a great point that you brought up, tooting your own horn, or at least, if we put a positive spin on it, just standing up for yourself, showcasing your talents, letting people know. Obviously, we know in India and Eastern culture, it's more favored to be humbled, let your skills speak for themselves. Guys, both of you obviously have experienced that culture much more than I have, much more than Rahul and I have. Tell us what it was like coming from a culture like that to coming here where you have to kind of learn to stand up for yourself and kind of create your own brand.
Sure. So, one of the line on the previous one, I still remember movie Naseeb, Amitabh, and in his famous song John Johnny Janardhan, he sings that हर पिक्चर देख के सोचा मैं भी एक्टर बन जाऊं. So that's how I after watching every movie I felt that I can be also an actor, and that's how I started this journey out over here. But yeah, coming from the cultural aspect wise, oh boy, I mean, my couple of cousins were in the Marathi play on stage.
Oh, okay.
But that was see, don't follow that path, kind of approach told by my dad. So it was almost like a big taboo on Indian culture that you follow the standard path. Like today, one of our local community had event, even the famous calligraphy person, he mentioned that those days only 4 careers were followed: doctor, engineer, architecture, and CA, which is CPA. Beyond that, if you are doing, you are wasting your life and wasting your career. So that's the culture and that's the perception where we grew up at. So to even if you have the urge, my two aspirations would have been playing cricket and acting in a
Sure.
movie. But then those would have been shot down.
Now what are we doing on the weekend?
Exactly.
Cricket and
And
acting.
acting.
No,
Exactly.
if your hobby becomes your job, then you never work.
Right.
So
And
that-
unfortunately, I acknowledge that there were not so many of opportunities, like especially
No,
in
yeah.
cricket.
No, coming here and,
Right.
and cricket wise, yeah,
Yeah.
and I did. I played under 15, and in Assam, and yet I played good cricket.
Very
Coming
cool.
down here, we started in '80s UIC too, and a team in '84. Got 20 guys to sign, and all. We started all that, but again, it's not. The weather doesn't allow. It's not a full time thing, and then
Yeah.
movies was. I have no talent. Believe me.
Oh, come on now.
But I can spot it, but I encourage, I love it. I love part of the journey.
He's being humble.
it-
My cousin, I'll tell you this right now. My cousin, Vedita, said that Akash is her favorite character. I told you, you got your first fan. Look at that.
Okay, thanks to you guys,
That's
or
good.
your writing and making me do something that somebody liked, which is okay, right? But which part of my, just to let you know, the whole month and a half, you talk about how people know how you guys did all that. You guys talk about it. Is it okay to talk about
Yeah,
that?
of course.
And when you guys decided to do this all in, the Airbnb, the whole 9 yards, and doing it all in 4 weeks, I was like, wow, these young kids, it's a first big venture like that, and you had it scheduled, and I'm like, okay, I volunteered. I'm like, okay, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, these guys should be fed. Let's get the
Right.
food. Let's get the. You want the lights? I'll carry everything.
Right.
That's what I thought my role would be, to encourage. And when somebody needs a ride, okay, go drive them, bring them over, and things like that. So, for the whole process, I enjoyed. It was just wonderful to see you guys perform and looking behind the cameras, and the lighting guys are there and going back and forth. No, let's do it again the third time. This going through the process impressed me more, and I get goosebumps thinking like, you're already winning. If you get release this anywhere, let more people see it. Just doing it.
Absolutely. I couldn't
Half the
agree
people
more.
sit
Couldn't
and
agree more.
imagine that we could do it, we should do it. You guys did it. You
Right.
wrote it. We had
Exactly.
rehearsals. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's kudos to you.
Kudos to you. I'm
So
again super proud of you guys, because it's two ways, right? Like, we can say everything, but that's something I was even talking to my
Yeah.
grandma about
Agreed.
externally. To see you guys take such interest in your own characters and the story, and a lot of times I was like, what if I do it this way? Do it this way, right? That's a creator's dream come true, and this project equally means as much to you guys as it means to me. So for us, like, it didn't really feel like we were directing. It was just like, we've got all these ideas. Let's do what the script says. Let's do some of your ideas, and boom. When we see that collective energy, like, really, if anything, we learn from Upside Brown, guys. Now I'll say this all the time. My dad and our family is all about memorization. Even if you don't know all the answers, sell it. Be confident, etc. Rahul and you have always been also on that same idea of confidence, believing in yourself, just giving it your all. And because we all gave it our all, and because there was this culture of organization, discipline, it just felt like any other task. And it's a
It was
testament
enjoyable.
to you guys.
It was like
So,
the energy just flew.
Yeah, yeah.
It flew to people.
Just a bunch of friends
We're not
hanging out,
exactly.
yeah.
We're laughing. We have some behind the scenes you won't believe that I recorded while stuff was going on. And it was wonderful. Just the experience was staying together, and then the outdoors shooting that we had a little bit. The episode in the cafe, shutting the cafe down, having to ourselves for a whole day. It's just good stuff. I would say.
Absolutely.
No, it's really a puzzle piece. Like, it means so much when you just kind of, because we were all in, like The Office, we chose one location. We chose that house in Elgin, the Airbnb. I think that was the biggest blessing, because all you have to do is get up, brush your teeth, come downstairs, you're on set. But what's more meaningful is you're on set, and then you see one of these guys making tea or making eggs, and with the aunties as well, and then you're like, wow, like we just have to do our job, and they're doing this when they don't even
Everybody
have to,
pitching in,
washing
yeah.
dishes, etc. It saves so much time, and then your mind's clear, and it cannot express enough gratitude. We'll always remember that experience.
Very much, absolutely.
Truly a family experience. But then I have to ask, speaking on family, like, what was it like to be directed by your sons? Like, transferring, obviously there's a relationship that exists between us as dad and son, and you and Rahul. what was it like to kind of balance those two relationships?
For me, it was good. He was coaching me, right, and a couple of pointers he gave me how to remember the lines. You know, because what portions to remember and how which one to ad lib and stuff like that. That comes from you guys. You know, your experience, and then I just sucked it up and I prepared it that way. A couple of times he did scold me. You're not practicing enough. Let's have it one-on-one. You know, so he would pull me aside at home and, you know, practice your lines, and this needs to be happen, which is good. You know, which I encourage. There was no, and then it was good to see him on the set
Yeah.
all the time. We spent time together, which is fantastic. Of course, it's good back and forth. And so I think you had the same experience with you. I'm like professionalism, right? When he's directing, like I said in the beginning, you tell me what to do, I'll try my best to do that, and that's the extent of my. I don't think I bring any originality or anything like that, other than cheers all the time, which I can do best with the best of them, you know.
Sure. I think mine was slightly different. In the beginning, I think Amitabh went in my head. And I think
Yeah, you're better than the director.
Yeah.
I'll show
And
him, right?
And then I started thinking like, रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं, now I'm old too. And then,
that is
What he's saying is he's like, remember who's your dad.
Who's your
Who's
daddy?
your
Yeah. We would crack up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
he would always, not always, but there were like 3 or 4 times that was beautiful behind the scene. We're like, this is how I want to do it. Dad, relax. Let me try my way, then we'll do your way.
exactly.
Remember those?
And I think you're right. There's a couple of episodes, or the couple of scenes. The first one where I couldn't even say that tongue twister line. You know, I don't think I will be able to say even today. Where we were rehearsal and like trying, and it was like 11 o'clock at night, and people
yeah.
were like on the set tired, and I was like getting frustrated, and I was just like like,
Call it a
I
day, it was a long night.
blasted him for like that kind of line. And I think it was the initial day, anxiety was getting built up. Being a project manager, I was looking at it was like a T20 match, and we have like 200 runs to make, and we are already losing like a first over with no run. So that was like too much to handle from my perspective, as if I was like going to be hitting sixes every time. And then the one time, I think I was pleasantly surprised him in one of the shots where he was asking me to be subtle, and I was a little loud.
That's the one I'm talking about.
And he was like, where is this coming
In
from?
my acting, right? Because I play someone super timid, so he's behind me without spoiling the scene. He's behind me, and he just comes in and gives this powerhouse of a surprise performance, and I'm like, okay, all I gotta do is act natural now, because I'm truly shocked at what I'm hearing. And there are times, I think that's one of the best lessons. You gotta sometimes let the actors do their thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're gonna bring something up. They bring something up out of nowhere. And they surprise you. They go off script. There's one line, without getting too much into it. It talks about someone on a jog, and it translates to someone running in circles in a backyard. And I could have never written that on paper. But sometimes accidents make the best comedy. So with comedy, you gotta let loose, kind of let them do their thing. You gotta respect that this is their character as much as it is yours. You may have written it, but they're playing it. So these guys, epitomize that. They truly were their role, and I think it was definitely better for it, letting you guys do your thing sometimes. And
But I will also acknowledge that I think after that first day's incidents, I think Yash handled it very well. My tantrums and then
Big actor throwing tantrums.
Exactly. So with that, I think quickly the reality started sinking in, and then I think then thereafter was more of it's like what they call in the corporate world. Initially, you are forming the team, then you're storming,
Yeah.
then you're norming, and then we started performing.
And sprint, at some point, it truly is like you mentioned. I'm glad you brought up the T20 example, because I've experienced this not just with you guys on set, even post production. Anytime you set this aggressive goal that's probably unrealistic, and then you realize you're not meeting it, then you spend half your time panicking. Why am I not meeting my initial
You should
expectations?
have gone through it. Huh?
Obviously, that happened when we started Upside Brown. Right, day one. By the end of the day, we were only halfway done. We're like, what are we gonna do? Then we're going to the cutting board and all that. And even post production, you'll find in the future podcast, we set this schedule of editing, and then we didn't realize how much all the software would take to load, and any, as you say many times, unforeseen situations. You can only plan for that so much before you go crazy, and then when it does happen, well, you have two choices: you go crazy, or you adapt and overcome, as my brother always says. Adapt and overcome is literally the mantra of the film world. We all know as creatives,
Absolutely.
Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and a lot went wrong, but I think the best part is we were all ready to adapt. Does it have to be downstairs? Do we have to lug all the equipment? No, we'll do it upstairs right here. Oh, you want that lighting? Well, we can create that lighting. It doesn't have to be in that room. It doesn't have to be this time.
No, and a couple times I saw you guys move shots around because your lighting was already set up.
Right.
And then in, I think the last few days, you were racing against the light outside.
Racing against the light, yep, because we were in the
And
fall.
like, okay,
Yeah.
that we can do now. Okay, and then they postponed our scene.
Right.
Remember? Then like,
yeah,
okay, you
yeah,
guys,
right.
we'll do last.
Yeah.
You guys are available, no
Absolutely.
problem.
Right.
And you got to accommodate other folks too. So I think you went out of your sequence. But I think you and Rahul will go away for an hour or so, reorganizing,
Yes.
chart while others are having a dinner break or a
Yeah.
lunch break or stuff like that, and you come back and like, okay, we change up scene. Let's do this. Let's take this out
Yeah.
because we already have the lighting set up. Because the lighting setup takes about an hour and
Definitely.
to get the setting. So that was very, and I'm so proud of you guys, like learning on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't officially both of you go to school for this or in
Exactly.
filmmaking and how you, like your brother would say, right? Adjust and adapt and adjust and
overcome,
that's gonna
Yeah.
help you in the future.
Thank
Just
you.
make you just a better
Absolutely.
plan. It's always that, from my work, I'm a nuclear professional for 30 some years. It's always take a step. When things look chaotic, I'm a consultant. If it is not chaotic, we don't have a job. I'm okay when our clients are goofing up or screwed up or they don't know
Right.
what's going on, and that's when we get the call, and you're supposed to know everything, and I can't start panicking with them, right?
Right.
So you act like the big man on campus, and you tell them exactly it's going to be all okay, even though I have no idea. But we have the right people. We go get the right people with the subject matter experts and get things done, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You cannot panic with them.
And we learned that a lot from you guys. I mean, if anything, right, like film, if you take away the glamour of, it's filmmaking, and you just treat it like any other project, we learned from you guys, figure out the bottleneck and work around it.
around
Because
it.
that's the thing that's going to stop it.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you can try, oh my God, I want this scene in the sunlight, and this, and this, and this. But hey, we're starting at 10, 4 o'clock at sunset, you got to adjust, buddy. So it's kind of cool that, like, we had externalities. You want me to wait?
This one's dead.
Okay, just
Just like this one.
Alright. But yeah, to go off of that, just it's a good experience when you're forced to make the most out of the least resources, because sometimes I think we've come up with some of our most creative scenes. Time crunches saved us in post, because then when we're editing, we're like, wow, because we did it so quickly, bam, 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 cut the exposition. We got some of the funniest
Funny
lines,
things,
and it's like
delivering.
it did the writing for us. It was almost like it was meant to be. The fireplace scene was gonna be so elaborate on paper with the whole dinner,
Yes.
and then the gathering scene before game night. They're condensed to their best bits. Like, we don't need to explain X, Y, Z. The audience will figure it out. Just show it. Just do it. And I think that was a good learning experience. Like you said at the very beginning after day one, cut out what's not
Yeah.
completely necessary for storytelling. It sucks, right? As a creator, it's your baby. You're like, I wish we had that scene. But if we have time, we save it for later. And then, as we saw, we saved it for later. Had some backup days, good. But we got the essentials. At the end of the day, if you done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. So,
Absolutely.
thanks for teaching us that. But a lot of serious stuff we talked about. Let's get back into some of the fun stuff, guys. Funniest character on the show.
I laughed. He got the best lines and the funny and how it delivered. One that didn't even get the camera. With your delivery, also I enjoyed.
Okay.
Remember, you're like all the tune, like
Yeah.
hello, like he's like slow it down. It's not a big hello, Even things, little things like that. There were certainly laugh out loud moments the whole time. The whole time. I get a lot of footage on my cell phone of good stuff like that.
I think for me it was Bunty.
Bunty.
Yeah.
Every
the
time.
way he talks, the way he was appearing with the same attire every time.
With Bunty there,
So that was my
Good one, yeah.
favorite, like, funny character.
Favorite character to share the screen with?
Favorite character to share the screen with.
And this could be
Yeah.
actor too. You know, favorite person to act with.
Why don't you start? Let me give it a thought.
no, I had most of the scenes with you anyway.
Exactly.
So you and I, when
Right.
the thing was, when we were doing, it was all either a banter back and forth, or we'd having a cocktail, or we're rolling each other, just trying to do one up on each other, So, those were good. And one of the scenes I think surprised us was, it was like 4 pages of me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we first take, and they said, I think you guys got it.
Yeah,
Remember, we were
exactly.
both like
Yeah.
surprised. That was
Right.
like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
I forget which episode was it. You know which one I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
the
Right in the
flashback.
bedroom, the flashback. Flashback one.
The
Right.
flashback one. Episode.
So and because
Well,
that
you
was
both
c-
were you both
yeah.
were angry because that was India versus New Zealand. The match just finished, and they're like, yeah.
India didn't play well.
Yeah.
So right after the game, and it was a lot of back and forth. It was just so back and forth with the pauses and speaking over each other. That was hard, right? It was not
Right.
on paper. It looked very hard.
Yeah.
I think we nailed it, and it was effortless. And I'm like, okay, and then he's like, let's do this portion anyway to do all that. But that was, I enjoyed that one a lot. But boom.
I'm excited for you guys to see that the music team has done a wonderful job on that scene.
Oh, is that right?
And it's a recurring musical theme that we use, so
Okay.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
guys
no,
to
no.
see.
We haven't seen anything, right? So
Right.
we're looking forward to enjoying it to see how good or bad that's been. So, but the game night was fun anyway. It was the game night scene. That episode was just a blast all along. Ended up with the dancing, the music and the whole 9 yards. It was just a fun
Yeah.
episode. It was just a blast.
I'm gonna tease you a little bit. I'm gonna ask a story that it's an infamous story on set, the story of the U-Haul on day one, if you
Oh,
remember. Why don't you tell it from your perspective how that whole thing went down? And
Yeah.
completely raged. To give us your whole Raj
I-
Devan version.
I think it was middle of the day, and I heard that, hey, we have to return the U-Haul or we'll be charged a lot, right?
Yes.
Or we had to return. So I think I had the episode was, off a little bit, for me, I guess, and then Rahul was not doing anything. The guy who was supposed to return, he was in the shot and he was
Yes.
handling the camera and stuff like that. So what happened was, I'm like, okay, I'll help out. I'll drive the U-Haul, and Rahul, you take my car. I'm gonna follow you. So that's all. It was very quick, and that was it. I got the key, got on the U-Haul. Guess what? Cell phone age, and I did not bother to take my phone. All I told Rahul is like, I'm following you. His assumption is I know where the U-Haul place is. He put it on his path, and then he took off in my car, right? So I'm like, okay. So with a U-Haul, trying to follow a Maserati is not that easy. Couple of lights, I lost him. I'm like, okay, that's fine. He probably looked back. Dad's not following. He probably pulled over. So I kept going for 2 more lights, not to find him. So I'm halfway there already, and now I have no idea. I don't have a cell phone. I don't know where this U-Haul is or what suburb it came from. Where am I going?
Oh my goodness.
And this is a new area too. So I'm like, I was following him. Now I don't even think I can get back.
I would be pissed.
Well, I'm like, all right, let's figure it out. So I U-turn, and then I know which side north. I was going south and out, and then I ended up. I'm like, if I can get to this street, I know where to get from here on. So I got back home. I'm like pissed now. So I pick up my phone and call her, where are you? Okay, he's already reached and waiting
Oh my
for me to show up over there. So I'm like, can you give me the address where this belongs to, this U-Haul? So of course he sat there, and I took him, and then I think
But he said he texted you.
that's what I'm saying.
But you forgot.
But I didn't have my phone with him. He didn't
There
know
you
that.
go.
That's
Yes,
what I'm
there
saying.
you
Like
go.
he
Comedy of
errors like
errors.
I
Real
took the
life
key. Okay,
Seinfeld.
I'll come. I'll follow you. You know. Okay. So kid like, okay, he's got the, you know
I
where you're
remember
going.
that day. Yeah, you had your little dad moment.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, I'm supposed to follow you. When somebody's following you, make sure they're following you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, he's like, yeah, Dad, I texted you, and you didn't know I didn't have a phone.
So for me,
Yeah.
I know Raj and me had a lot of scenes, and of course, like, and I enjoyed working with all of them. But I think, to be fair, I would call out two people. One is Kristen.
Kristen, yes.
Yeah. Where yes, Mama Ji. That is still stuck in my head, as you could see. And the other guy, I forgot his name. Rashad, right? The one who said, "Let me teach you."
About
Yeah,
about the
he
phone."
had a couple of good.
Yeah,
tricks,
exactly. And the way he managed the whole way, I think that is still of course, I mean, you all work part of the game, but still that was something.
And I think the commonality of those scenes is, right, usually you're the one, with the hammer, you're guiding the scene. With these two characters, they're just friends of friends.
Right.
That's right.
They have no idea who you are.
Correct.
And they're just willing to, stick it to the man without even realizing this is a scary guy. And then he's all like, who are these kids talking to me like this? It was a lot of fun. No,
Yep.
Kristen and Phil, you guys were phenomenal. It turned out wonderful. The chemistry is so natural.
Exactly.
I enjoyed with Madhura too, because
Yeah.
we had those. Madhura, Rahul, and
Absolutely.
you're
guys
the
are
one
all
I worked
friends, yeah,
with. With
exactly.
Ria, there were some back and forth.
Right.
We were on each other's throats, a couple times, and that was a good.
Correct.
I don't think I had any. Other than that, it was all in the group scene, right? I'm
Yes.
part of the group.
Correct.
And,
Correct. Yeah, and that's exactly where I felt,
where
yeah.
that happens, and
Yeah.
there was no direct interaction
No.
on any
Yeah.
one-on-one.
No.
Even with Bunty, I had a couple of eye contacts and a couple of dialogues in the beginning, and we were doing
Right.
we because we hit it off because we had a common enemy
Yes.
at that point. So,
Yep.
Yes.
so that was a good episode on that end.
So, I think I'll ask you this because the cafe day you weren't there for that, but
Mhm.
filming outside of the house, obviously refreshing, and you've helped, you've worked in that cafe, your brother's cafe. Tell us, this is a podcast, shameless promotion. Let's talk about Two Shades Cafe and what inspired that idea for this to be part of the
No,
scene.
I mean it's all it's my brother's thinking, and we all worked in a restaurant when we were younger and stuff like that. And so he's a coffee person, right? And he's always, he finished his MBA in Starbucks, basically, things like that, and he would hang out. He's a coffee guy, and then he got with a couple of friends who had restaurant experience, and then they had an opportunity to right after COVID. A place that they can make their own, change it. The owner was ready to sell, and it moved to California, and they wanted a certain type of coffee. They brought their own thing in, and kudos to him, and they jumped on it and made it their own.
Beautiful cafe.
Beautiful cafe.
Beautiful.
And we hang out, and whenever I get an opportunity, I go. And in the beginning, I used to work, and now they have enough employees, and they don't want me around. but I enjoy going there. They're helping them with the menus and stuff like that. I think my nephew has contributed huge,
Yes.
helping him both different and niche. They're there setting up the employees and help out. So he's enjoying it. Does one day a week, Saturday type of stuff. But he's got a big time full time job. So initially it was all getting something new, something to do, some passion, somebody to hang out, watch the soccer games over there or cricket games, and then sit in a group. That's fun. It's nice.
Little Italy, right? We're just in case.
Little Italy, yeah, it's by UIC campus. It's on Taylor, 1100 Taylor, on the corner of Taylor and Racine. And they're doing very well. Good
Yeah.
reviews. So I encourage people who are listening or
Yeah.
live in that area please go on. And the student from UIC are running it. They're
Oh yeah,
working
yeah.
it.
I've been there a couple
couple
times.
times.
They, 1 year later, that place is packed. They've done a wonderful
Oh,
job.
cool.
I go there. I'm always getting my standard turkey panini, side of
They're
potato
there.
chips,
They're
and,
doing so well there. Thanks to them.
well.
And then they shut it down for us the whole day.
Yeah.
And then they gave us the servers, all the actors and the crew were at cater what coffee you want, anytime, any sandwich you want, the whole 9 yards. So it was a nice experience, and everybody else just getting out and being under the lights, and it was a good lot of family members came to encourage,
Yes.
and there were other people around, lot of extras were
Yes.
there that
Yes,
day.
yes, yes.
One of my best friends, Scott Kelly, was there
Yes.
with his son had a part. It was
Yeah.
just a fun day,
Very fun.
very very fun day.
Yeah.
And then I think we had to close it down, clean it up,
Yes.
and help them lock, and then we all rushed back.
Wow.
Remember?
Yes.
The next day we were back at the.
Back of the house.
Back
a
at
lot
the house.
easier to be stuck in one cafe than one house.
One house, yes.
In terms of moving things around. We've got
Fun. That was
3
fun.
last big questions left, and then we're gonna go to rapid fire round. Guys, to start off, this show talks a lot about Indian culture, and there's aspects that we've explored, obviously with the wedding angle, Sangeet, and Rakshabandhan's mentioned here and there. What are aspects, really quick, that each of you guys would like to see? It could be one word, it could be a holiday, it could be a sport. Obviously, cricket is something on our mind. Raj?
See in the future episode or which
Future
one?
episode or future seasons even. What would you like to see explored in the show?
No, wedding is big.
Wedding is big.
Wedding in India. Look at the other things that people show in India. It's not only one wedding. The Punjabis have a wedding, Marathis have a South Indians have a wedding. They're different from Bengalis. So those rituals and everything else, in one wedding, a lot of things show up.
Yeah.
One I would like is a festival of Holi.
I was about to say that.
Is that
Yes,
Holi
absolutely.
is a color thing. It's a it's a powerful. It's like people come to strangers, just to,
I think that'd be a lot.
that'll be a
Yeah, all
fun
that.
thing, and then
Fun
we,
thing.
Rahul and I
you know,
have talked about the Holi, Diwali, all of it.
all of
Ganesh
it.
Puja.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
mean, you guys
exactly.
are sitting
Look at
on the
Diwali.
house.
I mean, White House is doing Diwali now.
Right, right.
All that. So yeah, those are very important festivals. That I love that. And then again, you and I were such a huge cricket fans,
Right.
and then I wouldn't mind wearing a cricket jersey
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and showing
There you
up
go.
Yeah.
some one old guy's team against the other old
League
guy
game,
team.
yeah, league
So-
game.
so-
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind of a
Yagi versus Mohawk.
Gol Tara, like like a Lagan.
Yes, yes.
Winner takes it all kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Paying
You know?
homage to the movies. Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, then you all, we talked about the father-son relationship, of course. And then both of you did get a chance not just to, yell at your kid on screen, you as well, but to
Yeah.
yell at your nephew as well. Tell us both about those experiences, Dan.
It was hard for me, to be honest with you. As much as behind the scene shouting is.
Did he throw a shoe or something?
No, I
No.
threw his camera.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god. First of all, I value the things, right? So I
Yeah,
don't
we
like
caught
to.
it, we caught it.
I didn't want to really spoil it or out of it, Although you were telling me that's okay, Dad, it's okay to be thrown and get
Yeah, we
discarded.
caught it.
Yeah.
We did it.
I was like, no way. And then, I think smearing on your face or something of that type. I don't
Cake-
remember.
cake.
Cake, no smearing.
No
Maybe
smearing,
next
yeah.
season.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was kind of hard for me. I mean, of course, I haven't. It's not that I haven't shouted at you, but as I said, that's behind the scene, not to be shown on the screen.
But there again, that's why we were. I mean, and nothing. Look, every house we've had, all cultures. There's been moments that kids and parents are not proud of, but I think it's important to show them on screen because then you're talking about it, right? You're talking
Right.
about these things. You realize it's not just us, and then when you talk about it, we can start, working on it together. But yes.
Correct.
Hey, one thing we all Indian, we get yelled at by our wives. I did get yelled by mother. You got yelled
Oh yeah, I
by
was
Riti.
big time.
So yeah, that was there.
Yeah,
And
holding my
vice versa.
hand,
You
And
guys,
vice versa.
you guys yelled.
holding my
your
hand
wives.
and pulling me in the kitchen.
Right.
Oh,
You know,
fair
I
share.
was like really like, stop it, Akash.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Fair share of mutual. What was it like to yell at Rahul and Dipin on the screen?
Rahul was more like shaking my head at him, like really get your shit together kind of stuff, right?
Right.
It was more on the camera look and just acting frustrated, right? I mean, that was it. Dipan was great. Dipan was at the cafeteria.
I think that's business as usual.
yeah, and he's my nephew, and he had some funny lines, and he's the server who just like one of those annoying waiters, just did not getting it. It was just great, just like I had to yell at him a little bit. So that was fun doing that to him.
Nothing like good old childhood days.
Right, exactly.
No, check out their family football games. Those are stories for.
So yeah, that's a different thing. Yeah.
But guys, let's go to the rapid fire round. We're gonna ask just one sentence, sometimes one word answers. We're just gonna go for it. Things onset, offset, whether it's kind of like questions we've done before, funniest character, etc. But we'll change it up. Favorite movie actor, etc. I'm just gonna ask one word, one sentence. Let's go for it. So guys, rapid fire with the dads starts now. Guys, who did you look up to when playing your character? Whether it be someone from Hollywood, Bollywood, someone you know in real life.
Always Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan.
I can't remember anyone. I mean, I have so many people to admire. I know you're Amitabh. I'm an Amitabh Bachchan fan too. I know you said one word answer, but
One sentence.
Yeah. I'm a big George Clooney fan.
George Clooney.
So he's subtle, rolling eyes and things like that, and just shaking his head.
Yeah, we shared the birthday, by the way.
Oh, is that right? Happy
George
birthday,
Clooney.
Mr.
No.
Clooney.
Yeah, thank you.
George Clooney and Amitabh Bachchan. We gotta get those two and these two in one room together.
Oh my God.
We gotta do it.
I have
Oh.
to touch their feet first.
No,
Yeah,
touching your feet in the scene. So, I mean, I know your answer now. Favorite actor?
You got it.
Amitabh Bachchan.
Amitabh Bachchan. I just watched Uchai. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's still doing it at this age.
I know.
And before that, we watched
How is it,
Goodbye.
How is it, Jay?
Wonderful. It's very
Wonderful?
inspiring.
Wonderful?
Very,
Guys,
very,
watch it.
very
Yeah, that's what we're
inspiring.
watching tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
Inspiring.
Yeah, on that note, then, favorite Amitabh movie?
Surely. All time.
Diwar. I've probably seen it 40 times.
Wow.
Wow.
And I own it when it came on the video, VCR. I'm that
Right.
old.
Because such Amitabh fans, favorite Amitabh line?
I just said that earlier.
Which was
रिश्ते में तो
about
हमारे तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं.
मैं गिरे हुए पैसे अभी नहीं उठाता. The Diwar one.
Yeah.
Can you
As a kid-
translate that for the audience, guys?
Sure, sure. रिश्ते में means like in relation, I'm your dad. Naam is Shahenshah. That means I'm the king of kings.
And this one is गिरे हुए पैसे अभी भी नहीं उठाता. That is in Diwar. As a kid, they throw the, hey, here's your money, and he said, hand it to me in my hand. I still don't pick it up.
Both cocky bastards.
You are.
They want their money handed to them.
Handed
the
to
king
them.
of kings. What is this?
Yeah. Attitude.
We electronically paid them their check. No hand handing.
Direct deposit.
Favorite coolest person on set, actually. Coolest person on set. Most fun to be around.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Oh yeah. They're,
Yeah, I love his
I see.
like the dance
He's
move with like one foot. Yeah.
No, that's pretty true. Good. Now that I would go. He's chilled.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Very
everybody
chill.
loves you. Both the
Yeah.
moms also said Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony's
And you know
chill.
why? Because Amar Akbar Anthony. That's Amitabh.
There we go. Anthony, it's just
Yeah, it's cool. And
pure
then
manifest.
and he's on an episode, right? He's in the cafe scene.
Little different now. We've seen Bollywood actors make their appearance in Hollywood movies and shows. If we were to take a Hollywood actor and bring them in Upside Brown, actor and actress, go.
Hollywood?
Yeah, if you went to see them in Upside Brown, whatever the role is, doesn't matter. But we get one actor, one actress in Upside Brown. Who would you pick?
Hollywood. Right now in our episode.
Who would you want to see?
Oh, of course, I'd like to see George Clooney, man.
And actress?
I don't have I don't follow anyone, but my all-time favorites are really old, like Michelle Pfeiffer and
Michelle
you know,
Pfeiffer.
and stuff like that. So
Got it.
Maybe they can be the neighbors.
Kate-
Dad,
Sure. I will bring Harrison Ford as my dad. and
As your dad.
As your dad.
as my dad, and then Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
She's
Wonderful.
feisty. Yeah.
Well, then, I don't know how that works because your mom's already in this show. And Harrison Ford and mom produced. I'm not sure that would work. Yes. But, okay, to wrap it up, what do you guys want to see for your characters in the future? You know, a funny scene, anything. You know, just to give you some examples, the ladies were talking about like a career that they'd want their characters to be in, or a scene with another character, anything like that. Just give me your wackiest future Akash scene, wackiest future Rahul scene.
Well, I guess I was going to say we could play cricket.
Cricket will happen.
Happen.
It's a promise.
Okay.
Surprise me something I wouldn't even dream of.
I have a wagon because he's helping me look for a job. I'm still,
Yeah, then-
I'll be in the job market.
Right.
Yes.
So it would be hilarious to see me in a uniform in a 7-Eleven.
Yes.
Or a
you
Dunkin'
mentioned
Donut
that.
boy. Start at the bottom again.
Yes.
And
Break down the ego.
build myself up.
Build yourself up. That
Hard for
doesn't have to be career.
you know, it's with so much of the character that he has played, he can be shown as Don.
Oh.
A mole turns to crime.
Yeah.
Turns to crime.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Upside Brown mystery thriller. We guys, just to round this out, the reason I ask all these questions is one of my favorite shows, Community. Dan Harmon. He did a beautiful job with his character of Abed, taking other worlds and making them accessible in a comedy. They did a Western episode. They did a sci-fi. They did an animated. They did a
Oh, that's
whatever.
wonderful.
Seinfeld's done amazing stuff. My dream, and the reason I ask you this, is to adapt Upside Brown that way. The sky is truly the limit here. The sky is the floor, as I say. We can start wherever we want. If we want a crime episode, we could do a little mystery thriller because comedy exists everywhere. That's, I think, something that's beautiful to realize, especially at this point in
there
your
is
life.
something in this one.
There is.
Yeah, there
There
was.
is.
There
Without
was some
spoiling.
mystery.
Without
Without spoiling
Yeah,
anything.
there was a mystery.
String,
There was a
yeah.
crime.
There's some crime, guys. Life is full of it. Embrace
Gray,
that.
gray, everything
Embrace
gray.
it. Everything's great.
Yeah.
Embrace the comedy of it.
Absolutely.
These two guys, some of the funniest people on screen and off screen. Any last words for the camera?
God bless you and God bless Upside Down.
Good luck to us all.
Good luck to us all. Catch us all April 1st at the Davis Theater. See us next time on this podcast with our lovely ladies, Madhura, Riddhi, Rahul, Mehak, all of them coming, but this week it was the dads. Thank you, dads. Once
Thank you.
again, thanks everybody. Till
Thanks,
next time.
So
everyone.
much.
There we go.
Good fun, guys. Good fun. Very
Give him
nice.
a hand.
Yes,
Give him a
very
hand.
nice.
Props on
Awesome,
that one.
awesome.
Wonderful.